Oh, yes.
Welcome back, everyone. Today we're going to be taking a look at the PowerCon exclusive MOTU Origins Faker and Dupli-Cat. This is one of several items exclusive to 2021 PowerCon, and as such commands a rather high price compared to your more retail figures. And what this is, it's a special edition Faker toy, similar to the retail edition, but with some extra stylings going on, and we'll take a look at that. And then it comes with an all-new figure that's never been done before, and that is Dupli-Cat, which is supposed to be kind of the Faker equivalent of Battle Cat. So he's like a blue Battle Cat, but he's also got some robotic stylings here on the claws. So this is a very cool set, and one of the ones I was most interested in because as of right now, it's the only way to actually get Dupli-Cat. So I thought that was pretty cool to get a mount for Faker. So if you've seen my reviews before, you know this goes. We're going to take a look at the toy's packaging. We'll open it up, we'll see the inner packaging as well, and then we'll see the toys themselves, check out all their posability, their accessories, have them interact with each other. Naturally, I'll be doing plenty of group shots and comparisons today, and then at the end of the video, I'll give my final thoughts. So our 2-pack comes in this very nice, just plain cardboard box with the penciled line art drawn right on the front. So it is very, very convention-like. You can see Faker wielding not just his copy of the Power Sword, but also the Havoc Staff for some reason. I'm not really sure. And then he also, in the art, appears to have some kind of like bandit mask effect over his eyes. And I think the toy itself looks like he's wearing sunglasses. I'm not entirely sure what the reference is there. Perhaps somebody who is more knowledgeable on MOTU than me could fill me in on that, because I don't really get the whole sunglasses thing or mask thing that's going on. I don't know where that comes from. And you can see Dupli-Cat looking very ferocious and just awesome. Some clouds and what appears to be the moon in the background. Some nice little bits of like dried foliage and rock face. Very nice drawing. I call this out as Adult Collector 2. So kiddies need not apply for this Dupli-Cat. All right, on the back, we get this really, really awesome bit of artwork of Faker and Dupli-Cat facing down He-Man. But I love the artwork. I love the expression on Dupli-Cat's face, that murderous intent he has. Like, he just cannot wait to just chomp down on He-Man. Very, very cool. Love that. You can see the underside of his claws. Really nice detailing. I love it. So let's go ahead and open up this outer box. We're gonna pull out whatever's in here. Oh, okay. Cardboard spacer. All right. So this appears to be in the stylings of some of the other box set type things. I know you can't see anything. Hold on. It's pretty tight. I probably should have done a jump cut for this, but I'm committed now, folks, so bear with me. Oh, there it is. Yeah, so looks a lot like what you see for like those Target exclusives and stuff, like the Battlefield Warrior set. Though you can see the stylings of this box, the colors and all that, very trippy looking, real psychedelic. It's pretty neat. All right, here we go. So, man, look at that. That's cool. So you get the artwork from the outer box here, now fully colored, of Faker and Dupli-Cat. You get Snake Mountain in the background and a green lady. I've seen her before. I can't remember who she is. So, yeah, forgive me for my lack of knowledge. God, it's on the tip of my mind. I don't remember who she is. So there's actually a name for this box set. It's called Maniacal Mimics. So that's neat. I didn't realize that was the actual name of the set. That was just Faker and Dupli-Cat. And the title for these is Dangerous Doppelgangers of He-Man and Battle Cat. And then when you come down here, they actually have the names of the characters themselves with their titles. So Faker, Evil Robot of Skeletor, nothing new there. And then Dupli-Cat, Evil Cybernetic Tiger. Now, what's really interesting, you'll notice those metal claws, they are worn like boots. I thought they were actually part of the toy, like replacing the lower feet. They're not. They actually slap on there, so that's pretty neat. The head is new, though. You can see he's got these robotic detailings that aren't present on the regular version. Saddle's still the same as Battle Cat. And here's Faker with, again, whatever's going on here. Some sort of like bandit mask thing or something. I'm not sure what that's about. Is it a prototype thing? I'm not really entirely sure what's going on. There's the name of the set again with like some green dude freaking out. Can't really tell who that is. And you got Battle Armor Skeletor right there, which is weird. They have the Armor Skeletor, but the Thunder Punch He-Man. You'd think they'd have the Terror Claw Skeletor on this. All right. So here we get that battle scene, which looks, wow, even cooler in color now. Okay, you can tell here now, it's more obvious that, you know, Dupli-Cat does have regular just paws with just metal gauntlets over top. The color in He-Man looks fantastic. You got these little creepy lizard dudes grinning over here. Evil Green Lady again. I can't remember her name. I really just, what was it? But still cool. You get what looks to be Grayskull. Well, no, it is Snake Mountain still, and I guess Snake Mountain has its own little spirit of Snake Mountain or smoke thing going on. So yeah, very, very cool packaging. I love everything about the outer box, the inner box. But now, let's check out what's inside. All right, now we get to see our toys out of the box. And a couple of interesting things. For one, the front legs were not retooled like I thought they were. They actually just have these removable overboots that go over the paws, which is pretty cool, except having those silver painted boots on there, because even the inside is painted silver, does end up leaving silver paint on Dupli-Cat's paws, you see right there. So, yeah, I mean, I don't know how many people are going to display them without the, you know, clawed boots on, but still kind of a shame that it messes up the toy a little bit like that. What is retooled is the top portion of the head. It's got this new mechanical detailing, this little plate on the forehead, these mechanical like eye ridges, all that. This ridge around the mouth. And then the lower jaw is the same piece as the standard Battle Cat toy. It's just got silver paint on it to make it look mechanical too. So a little bit of retooling going on. That's pretty cool. I really like his metallic orange saddle. I think that looks very good. And it reminds me of the more metallic red saddle that came with Battle Cat in the Battlefield Warriors 2-pack. So yeah, really like the looks of this Dupli-Cat. I love the colors with the, you know, nice blue and the lime green going on. It just really makes him stand out. And then of course, if we want to make him look cool, we go ahead and attach his boots. Now they're not the same piece, they're symmetrical. So you want to get the little thumb looking piece going on the inside of the foot. That's how you know which is which. And you just go ahead and you press them on. Like that. Pop right on there. Now you got them looking very cybernetic, very cool, and very dangerous. Because I always thought the little kitty paws of the original Battle Cat mold were not very intimidating. You know, there's no claws or anything to speak of. This makes the thing look like a real war machine. And then moving on to our Faker here. Now, I actually did some research between the, you know, inbox shot and now, and I got some background on this guy and why he looks the way he does. So this is based on what the fan community calls Leo Faker. And that is a reference to an Indian joint venture called Leo Mattel, or just Leo Toys for short, which there was a whole like legal reason that they did that, where Mattel was kind of splitting their shares with this company called Leo, and it was a way they were able to do business inside of India while avoiding like some legal issues. And interestingly, the MOTU toys that they put out through Leo Mattel or Leo Toys, a lot of them had pretty significant differences from their more widely released counterparts, and Faker was one of the most significantly changed. His overall color scheme remained the same, unlike, say, Skeletor, who came in like a really dark blue, which is cool looking. But he got the added inclusion of Skeletor's little, you know, skirt tassel thing here. He got the orange Havoc staff, and then this whole eye paint thing going on with the red eyes and like the green, I don't know, eyebrows or eyeshadow, I don't know what that is, and the black around it. That was all based on that toy. I don't really know why they made the changes they made. I don't know if it was to avoid, you know, more legal issues or something. Maybe the products couldn't be too similar to what was released elsewhere. I'm really not sure. But they did. They took it upon themselves to change a lot of figures. Some figures even came in multiple color variants. But the Leo Faker, as he has been called over the years, has become one of the most prized releases from there because of just how radically different he is. So now it all makes sense to me. Like, I get why this guy looks the way he does. At first I thought it was just random. I thought they just were supposed to be sunglasses, and this was supposed to be some kind of joke release, kind of like the World Tour MODOK from Hasbro Legends, where MODOK looks like Elvis and he's got shades on. But no, it is a reference to a very localized release of the Faker toy. And knowing that, I find this guy to be so much cooler. Plus, he just comes with a lot more than your standard Faker. He gets the extra little skirt tassel thing. He gets a Havoc staff, which looks awesome in orange, by the way. And he gets a much more interesting face paint going on, because one of the things I was never crazy about with the regular Faker he never looked much like a robot, right? He's supposed to be a robot, but he's just blue He-Man. Like, he has very normal looking eyes, you know. He's just a blue guy, looks like a Smurf. This, with the big red eyes, makes him look much more like a robot. So I really, really dig that. He does maintain the little robotic details on the chest, like the regular Faker has. And I like him. He's very stable. He comes with 2 weapon-holding hands, so he can grasp both accessories very well. Unlike the original vintage toy, much like, you know, most of the vintage toys had a weapon-holding hand and an open hand, so it was really hard to get him to hold all this stuff properly. Luckily, they did make that small change just so he's much more functional, which I do appreciate. It's actually one thing I really wish they had done for the standard releases of He-Man and Skeletor and Origins, is just give them that one little extra hand so they can hold both of their weapons at the same time. Something I always felt was a bit lacking there. I mean, sure, you could go buy a $20 deluxe version and then, you know, steal that toy's hand to give to your regular versions, but, you know, then you're investing pretty heavily in just an optional hand. So I like the fact that they included this here. I think it really helps him just stand apart as this much more heavily armed and much more intricate looking version of Faker. And now here we get to see our Leo Faker next to the standard retail release from Wave 5. And mold-wise, they're the exact same toy. You know, your base sculpt, the head, all that, and the sword and chest piece are the same. This guy just gets the addition of the Havoc staff and Skeletor's little bottom piece there. And it's funny because the actual difference between these guys, aside from the extra accessories, really just comes down to the face paint. You know, this version of Faker was made to look just like a blue He-Man, which in some way makes sense because he's emulating him, but it doesn't make for a very interesting toy, right? Imagine they sold an X-Men morph toy, but it was just Wolverine. They're like, well, you could turn into Wolverine, so there you go, it's morph. I don't think people would be very satisfied with that, right? They want something that is showing its true colors and doesn't quite look like the character that it's supposed to be impersonating. And I feel that this newer version achieves that a little better because he's got just a much more sinister look to him. And it's funny because, like, nothing about the face sculpt has changed. He's still got the same expression, but those just menacing red eyes and the way they're drawn and shaped make him look much more sinister and evil and angry looking than this one that looks like he's almost smiling. So, yeah, I think it just makes for a pretty marked improvement just by swapping out a few of the paint apps there. I have also noticed, I don't know if it's intentional or not, but this Faker's hair is a slightly browner shade of red than the standard version. Maybe that is, you know, something that was part of the original Leo Faker's color scheme too that I didn't catch when I looked at it. Because admittedly, those toys are really old and, you know, could have some discoloration going on. So it's hard to put much stock in an almost 40-year-old toy. But yeah, there's definitely a shading difference between the hair. Maybe a callback, may just be them, you know, either wanting to change it or just not quite getting the plastic colors right again. But aside from that, I think everything else, like the skin tones, the boots and loincloth and all that, the black paint suits, I think that's all the same. It looks the same, best I can tell. And now we get to see Dupli-Cat with his mold mates. So we have our original use of the mold here, Battle-Cat, and then we get our flocked Panther, which is much more accurate to the vintage toy, and this was a Walmart exclusive, and then of course Dupli-Cat here in the middle. And it appears that the paint apps for his stripes are exactly the same as those for Battle-Cat. You can see the stripes are all in the same place on his legs and stuff. We pull off Battle-Cat's helmet, we can see, yeah, they're the same here too, and they just kind of skip around for the new tooling, right? So obviously there's no stripes around like the eyes or anything. But yeah, they really, it makes sense, right? You do, because he is basically a Faker version of Battle-Cat, you do want him to resemble Battle-Cat to some degree. So I think he does a pretty good job there. And I do think his mechanical detailing is way cooler than Battle-Cat's helmet. Like, I've always thought Battle-Cat's helmet was really goofy looking. Always made him look like some sort of a goblin. So I will say that despite the fact that he is not a vintage toy, right? He's something that was made up just for this release. He's never existed before. I think he honestly looks better than either of the two original characters. Like Battle-Cat, I always found his colors to be kind of off-putting, just from an aesthetic sense. And again, never been a big fan of the helmet. And in Panther, he's cool and all, but he's not the most exciting thing to look at. He's just a purple cat, right? No special flourishes or anything. And then you get this guy, who just looks awesome. He does look very 90s, I will say. Very much has that like late 80s, early 90s appeal. And you know what? I just realized something about this guy. Check this out. I just happened to look at him at the right angle. Look at this. He's got tech detailings on his back. Ha! Now that's cool. That is a nice touch that I honestly did not notice right up until this point. Wow, so that's cool. That really puts him in line with his Master Faker. Alright, you know what? I'm sold. Easily the best version of this mold right here. Super, super cool in every way. That is such a neat call out, and I can't believe I just now noticed that. So yeah, while all three of these guys, have a special place in the mythos and, who they're attached to, I really find myself liking this one most of all. I think it's the colors. Very Transformers G2-like colors, which is something I was always a fan of. Big, just bright, loud coloration, so I'm all for it. And here's one final group shot of Faker and Dupli-Cat along with their counterparts, He-Man and Battle-Cat, Skeletor and Panther. And I really like this. I like that Faker's, kind of finally getting his due and getting fleshed out as a unique character in this line instead of just a random blue He-Man tossed in a Wave 5. And he really gets to come into his own with his own dedicated mount, more unique stylings that help set him apart from He-Man, a bevy of accessories that puts him pretty much on par with Skeletor, except he can actually hold all of his accessories properly, unlike Skeletor. You can see that's why Skeletor isn't holding his, purple power sword, because where's he going to hold it? So yeah, I really like this. I really like that after all these years, they can come up with a new mount or vehicle type toy that can be used with a classic character and kind of giving them a long-awaited upgrade. So yeah, I enjoy this. I think this is easily one of the coolest things to come out of 2021 PowerCon. I would put him either right at or even slightly above the Evil Horde set. As cool as that was, and as amazing as that thing's packaging was, I think our Faker here is just that much more unique and interesting. Because, what did we get out of the Evil Horde set? We got a Cartoon Colors Hordak that did admittedly have new tooling on his arm, which was cool. We got Grizzlor, but we also know Grizzlor is going to be coming in like a slightly changed version in retail eventually. And then we got 2 color variants of the generic Horde Troopers. So while that set was awesome, I think its appeal came more from its packaging than it did the toys inside. Now, it could be a bias on my part because I also do prefer the toy design of Hordak over the cartoon design. But I just find this guy to be a lot cooler because he's a super obscure call-out to a version of Faker that is only known by the most dedicated MOTU fans. I mean, I had to look it up, right? That just shows me as a casual fan, this guy wasn't even on my radar, old Leo Faker. And then we get this guy right here. Dupli-Cat is awesome. In my opinion, an absolute improvement over the Battle-Cat and Panther formula, because he gets a whole new face that looks much, much more fierce than the standard face for these two. I mean, you just kind of see the anger and the danger in his eyes, and he gets these cool accessories that go over his paws. He gets that nice little tampo on the back. His saddle color looks awesome. That metallic orange is just, wow, that's some chef kiss stuff right there. So yeah, the total package here, I love it. I think this is, by admittedly a slim margin, my favorite thing to come out of this PowerCon. Which is saying a lot, because 2021 PowerCon had some really, really cool stuff. And this completes our look at PowerCon, Faker, and Dupli-Cat. In my opinion, this is easily the best version of Faker that's been put out in either Origins or the Vintage line. He's just got much more going for him. He's got a higher accessory count, way cooler face paint. Even just that darkening of the hair makes him look, a little more serious than having just bright red, crazy looking hair. And then the addition of Dupli-Cat just really seals the deal for me. This is the best way to get your vintage Faker fix. And then the fact that he is a call out to a very obscure and very highly coveted version of Faker. I mean, that thing goes for stupid, stupid money for collectors. So getting a modern version of that, along with, this magnificent beast just to sweeten the deal, makes this guy so very worth it. Now, being a PowerCon exclusive from last year, he's not going to be cheap. If you didn't pick one up when orders were available, you're going to pay quite a bit on the secondary market. But I'm willing to bet you'll probably pay less than what you would pay for the original Leo Faker. So, it's up to you what you want to do. Obviously, I don't recommend anybody put themselves in a bad financial position to obtain this thing. But if you have the funds and you really do want the ultimate version of a vintage Faker, I think this is it. And I think if you do put the money down on it, you're really going to enjoy what you get, because I think this thing is just the total package. It is awesome. We get a whole new mount character and the best version of Faker we've ever had. I love it. I absolutely love it. My favorite piece of PowerCon 2021, hands down. And if you pick it up, I think it'll be yours too. Of course, that is just my take on this 2-pack. So now I want to know what you all think of it. Do you like this enough to actually put down the money for it? Do you think that this really is just that much of an improvement over the base, like, Wave 5 Faker toy? Or is this not for you? Either the cost is prohibitive, which is very understandable, or maybe he's just not different enough for you to care, or maybe you actually like the original Faker more, and you don't care for the Dupli-Cat thing. Any and all feedback is always welcome in the comments section. If you enjoyed this review, make sure to toss it a like. Let YouTube know you want to see more stuff like this. If you do want to see more like this, make sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell so you always get a heads up when I post something new. I thank you for joining me for this look at the PowerCon 2021 exclusive Leo Toys Faker and Dupli-Cat. And with all that said, I will see you next time.